Title: The Good Samaritan. A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell among robbers, who stripped him and beat him and departed, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a priest was going down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Perhaps he thought, if I stop to help this man, I will be late for my service in the temple. Or perhaps he feared, if I touch this man, who is bleeding, I will become ritually impure. Also a Levite, coming to the place, and seeing the man, he went around and passed by. Perhaps he thought, I don't want to get involved in this, it could be dangerous. Or perhaps he feared, if I stop to help this man, other thieves might appear. But a Samaritan, who was on the way, when he arrived where the man was, saw him and had compassion on him. The Samaritans and the Jews were ancestral enemies, separated by religious and cultural differences. However, the Samaritan did not let himself be carried away by hatred or prejudice. He saw a needy man and felt compassion. He approached, bandaged his wounds, pouring oil and wine on them. The oil and wine were common remedies in ancient times, and the Samaritan applied them carefully and tenderly. Then he mounted him on his own beast of burden. The Samaritan was not a rich man, but he shared what he had. He took him to an inn and took care of him. The Samaritan stayed with the injured man overnight, making sure he was comfortable and safe. The next day, he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper, saying to him, take care of him, and whatever extra you spend, I will repay you when I return. The 2 denarii were a considerable sum, enough to cover the expenses for several days. The Samaritan not only helped the injured man at the moment, but also ensured that he received long-term care. Jesus told this parable to a lawyer who had asked him who his neighbor was. At the end of the story, Jesus asked him, which of these 3 do you think was the neighbor of the one who fell into the hands of robbers? The interpreter of the law answered, the one who had compassion on him. Jesus said to him, go and do likewise. The parable of the Good Samaritan teaches us that our neighbor is any person who needs our help, regardless of their race, religion, or nationality. It invites us to love our neighbor as ourselves, showing compassion and mercy. This parable also challenges us to overcome our prejudices and stereotypes. The Samaritan was a foreigner, a member of a group despised by the Jews. However, he proved to be more humane and compassionate than the priest and the Levite, who are members of God's chosen people. The parable of the Good Samaritan remains relevant today. In a world marked by division and conflict, it reminds us of the importance of empathy and solidarity. It encourages us to build bridges instead of walls, to reach out to the needy, to love our enemies. Additional reflections. Love for one's neighbor has no limits. Jesus did not say that we should only love our friends or family. He called us to love everyone, even those who hate us or hurt us. Compassion is more important than religion. The priest and the Levite were religious men, but they did not show compassion for the injured man. The Samaritan, on the other hand, was a man despised by the Jews, but he proved to be a true neighbor. Helping one's neighbor is an act of love for God. Jesus said that when we help others, we are helping him. Serving others is a way of expressing our love for God.